Hey guys, what's going on? RetroGamer here, and welcome back to another review featuring the Sony PlayStation 4. So, the Sony PlayStation 4 first hit the shelves of North America on November 15th, 2013, and then a little while after that in Japan on February 22nd, 2014, and saw a retail value of $400. And though the PlayStation 4 is a little old now and we're coming up to the PlayStation 5, I still think this is a great console to own. There's a huge library of games, there's many different streaming services on the PlayStation 4, and all around I think it's a great console to have. Plus, it's gone down a lot in price. You can get these anywhere from $200 to $300. It depends on if there are games included, if you need to buy controllers for it. So there are a lot of different options when buying the Sony PlayStation 4, and I don't see this thing leaving my collection anytime soon. But with all that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the features of the Sony PlayStation 4. So taking a look at the PlayStation 4 itself, this is the first gen model. There were a couple different versions of the PlayStation 4. There's the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 Slim, and then the PlayStation 4 Pro. And in terms of which one you should get, it really just depends. If you have a 4K monitor, then the PlayStation 4 Pro is going to work best for you. But if you don't, then it's probably just best to get a PlayStation 4 Slim. They both usually come with 1 terabyte of hard drive space, but if it doesn't, like mine with this one only comes with 500 gigs, you're going to want to get an external hard drive, depending on how many games you're going to be playing on this. It all depends if you're using it for streaming or playing games. You can fit about 10 games on a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and then it starts to pretty much max out. So just keep that in mind when you're buying a Sony PlayStation 4. But looking a little more on the Sony PlayStation 4, we see it says Sony right here and PS4. These are the two USB sockets for charging and plugging in the external hard drive. Nothing more on the front there. There are some buttons here, the power and the eject button. You'll see this little bar light up blue when it's turned on. This sticker does not come with the PlayStation 4. I just added that onto there. Looking on the sides, there's not really too much going on. Just the standard sides over here. And looking on the back, we have a couple different ports, like the HDMI to plug into the TV. This is the port where if you don't want to use Wi-Fi, you can hook it up to your router. You'll get a lot better speed, so I would recommend doing that. This is the part where you plug into the power to power on your PlayStation 4. Looking a little bit onto the wires, you can just use a standard HDMI wire, nothing special. And then just use the power adapter that came with your PlayStation 4, a 2-prong, and then plug into your wall. And then if you're going to plug it into your router, you can just use a standard cord like this. These are just a couple dollars online. And that's pretty much it for the Sony PlayStation 4 console itself. Moving on to the controller, we have the new DualShock 4. This is a little bit different from the DualShock 2 and 3. I don't have a DualShock 3 on hand, but looking at this a little bit more, we have the standard PlayStation D-pad. We have these two analog sticks, the home button, little speaker in the front, the X, circle, square, and triangle. Up here we have two new buttons, the share button and the options button. This is the touchpad. You can also click it in. L1R1, L2R2, the light bar. This is the part where you can charge it. It's just a standard micro USB. So you can use any kind of micro USB cord. You can plug it into the PlayStation 4, or you can use a USB to wall adapter and plug it in that way, much like you charge your phone. On the bottom, you have a part where you can plug in headphones, and then you can plug in a little keyboard adapter as well. And that's pretty much it for the DualShock 4. In terms of battery life, these last anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. I agree with the 4, not so much the 8, although it depends what you're doing. If you're just using it as a controller for streaming, or if you're actually playing games, these do die pretty quickly. You can turn down the brightness of the light bar in the back, and that does help quite a bit. However, these still die pretty fast. It's a much more terrible battery life in terms of like a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, where those last, from 35 plus hours. So just keep that in mind when you're playing with the DualShock 4 controller. Moving on to what the game cases look like. These are what the game cases look like, much like a Blu-ray case for sure. These are a little bit different from the PS3 cases, but they're pretty much similar in size and whatnot. Nothing too much to notice on these. They're pretty basic. Opening it up, there aren't any instructions usually, just some warning labels. And these are actually Blu-ray CDs. As you can see, this is a Blu-ray CD, and the PlayStation 4 is also a Blu-ray and DVD player. And also, it is region free. You can play games from Japan or North America. However, you cannot play movies, as they work a little different. If you saw my PSP review, you can play region-free games on the PSP, but you can't play movies. Same thing with the PlayStation 4. That's just the way it works, but you can use this as a DVD player as well. If you just want to pop in a movie and have fun one night, it really doesn't matter. But in terms of games, with backwards compatibility, there really is none. And what I mean by that is you can't just put in a PS2 or PS3 game, much like with the older PS3s. You could play PS2 and PS3. You can't really do that, but they have solutions for this. They have a service called PlayStation Now. It is a monthly or yearly subscription service, depending on what package you get. And you can stream PS3 games, and you can download select PS2 games. You can also buy select PS2 games on the PlayStation Store. So there are options when playing older games on the PlayStation 4. There's also a huge library in itself. It has many different games. And all in all, if you're looking to pick up the PS4 in 2020, I would highly recommend it. Great console. It has a lot of things going for it. And even though the PS5 is coming up very soon, I still think it's a great console to have. And as I said in the beginning of the review, I do not see this thing leaving my collection anytime soon. But guys, that was my review on the Sony PlayStation 4. So guys, RetroGamer, if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys back here with another review. See you guys then.